In my entire life, I've never had so much being said about me. I'm very grateful. I should not say thanks to Pulin because we come from the same village in Orissa. Our families have been very close. We have a kind of tribal loyalty towards one another, and that precludes thanks. But nonetheless, I wish to thank you, and thank you, Pronab, and everybody. I'm particularly very grateful to the group of students who have got together these essays as a token of their kind of appreciation of the kind of work we have all been doing. Normally on an occasion like this, one remembers the students. It is always said that the teachers have a great influence on the lives of students. But the converse is also true. What I am today is to a very significant extent determined by the group of students I have had, particularly PhD students. And therefore, in a sense, I'm grateful not only to those who have got together this volume, but even to my other PhD students who may not have written in this. This is not an occasion on which I should be saying too much, because not only almost everybody in this room has heard me ad nauseum, but what is more, my PhD students in particular, those who have got together to write these essays, have also heard me ad nauseum. As a matter of fact, when a PhD student comes to you with very hazy ideas, those hazy ideas being translated into something which is clear, which is honed, which is chiseled as a PhD thesis, requires a real long journey. And this journey entails a lot of talk between the supervisor and the student. And the talk is not necessarily always of a very polite kind. It can be extremely blunt, and sometimes the supervisor is not even aware how blunt he is towards the students. This was once brought home to me because Sabyasachi Kaur, who's one of the editors of this volume, actually told me, sir, if you go on saying what you are telling me, in that case you'll destroy my self-confidence. so that was when I decided that, enough is enough. I must not actually be so critical of the students. But anyway, fortunately, Sabyasachi wrote a great thesis, and his self-confidence has not been destroyed. And looking at these, I agree with both Pronab and Pulin. Looking at these essays, the range they cover, the depth at which they actually explore their topics and so on, is quite impressive. It's really quite fascinating. And the fact that engaging with these essays is difficult is not just because I'm moving towards senility, but because these essays themselves are really at a very impressive level of depth. The fact that students who were my students have proceeded to become such outstanding economists, writing such essays, is of course a matter of pride, not only for me, but a matter of pride for our center as a whole. As a matter of fact, when we started this center, the whole idea was to do something different, not to have a clone of universities which exist outside, but really to have something of our own. And this is something which we did succeed in doing. As a matter of fact, I think I may have told this story to some people. There was a time that a Greek student came from London School of Economics to do a PhD in our center. So we were kind of a bit taken aback because normally the movement is the other way around. so we asked him, why have you come to JNU? So he said that, I asked my teachers, I'm very interested in Keynesian ideas, and I asked my teachers, where should I pursue them? So the teacher said, he said, his PhD supervisor said, we don't do Keynes very much, but if you want to pursue them, I think you should probably go to JNU. This morning I have lectured on macroeconomics to first year MA students. Again, as it were, carrying on giving the kind of ideas, Keynesian ideas and so on, which are no longer discussed very much in the West, not because the ideas are wrong, but because they are no longer fashionable. And for a very long time, almost from the beginning, with Krishna, Amit and all of us, many of us who are here, the whole idea was that we do not chase after fashions. And the fact that we have produced such an impressive set of economists. And incidentally, I should also say that, it's very easy in India to produce MA students, because then you're really producing students who go abroad. And the Indian MA students are in fact the best postgraduate students or graduate students in American universities and so on. But to have a PhD program here and to produce graduate students systematically is really very difficult. And the fact that we have done that is really an impressive achievement as far as our center is concerned. So reading this volume, I haven't yet fully read it, is something which actually makes me feel very happy, not just because my own students have got together to say thank you to me, but above all because it does show that in our center we have been producing over a long period of time students who are really quite outstanding by any standards, and at the same time they've all been trained here. So this is really an occasion to feel happy. As I say that, after something like this, one feels like Sita to be going underneath the ground, because it's very difficult to live up to a tomorrow. But alas, there is a tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be going and walking around and so on. And all these very nice words which have been said about me are something which would be, as it were, kind of weighing on me when I'm walking around. That, I'm supposed to be so great and still I'm just walking around. So it's very difficult to live up to this tomorrow, but nonetheless one has to. Thank you very much. I'm really very grateful. Thank you.